Hey everybody, it is late at night and I am Norman. I've already done a review of my youngest son's graduation watch. Tonight we're going to be doing a review of my eldest son's graduation watch. And this is actually the piece that's responsible for my obsession and love of dress watches. This was the first dress watch that I really got to see up close and personal, and I fell in love with it. But before we begin doing the review, I have to change its battery. So let us begin. Okay, so I've already taken the case back off and removed the old battery. The new batteries have arrived. I've used this before on the channel, but tonight, for the very first time, I'm going to use it on a watch that is not my own. A little bit terrifying. So I'm going to need a larger die than what was on it. One thing that's really cool about these dies is you'll see that they have a size on there. And this is a 40mm watch, so this should fit. Let's find out. Yeah, that looks like a good fit. It hits just the bezel, not the crystal itself. Perfect. And now to find the correct top die. I feel like the one I had on there was pretty close. Maybe just a little larger. Let's try this one. There we go. That's pretty close to the edge there. Let's put the battery in. Pretty sure it's been a while since this watch was working. And the battery just kind of pops in there. Let me find the crown notch right there. This is the toughest part. I think I mentioned it last time I used this press on camera. But just getting that crown notch aligned and to stay there as you're setting the watch on the press. Okay. Make sure it's centered on there. Nice. That went on nicely. All right. Now we can review it. So this is the watch that is responsible for it all. When I unboxed this to make sure that it arrived okay and everything, I absolutely loved it. It's kind of bauhausy minimalism, and I love that seconds hand. So this was an affordable piece, but its stats are really good, as you'll find out throughout this review. This is the original strap that it came on, and you can see that my son does wear it every now and then. Usually on date nights or job interviews. For the longest time, I thought that I had bought him an Alessi, but this is actually Bering. And when I look up the Alessis, this is so much cooler. The lugs are very small. It's almost like they're hidden lugs, but they really aren't. So you see some watches where they'll hide the lugs beneath the case like this. Only these stick out a little bit. The case is all brushed, so it's a nice utilitarian but dressy looking watch. So cool. It has a quartz movement in it, and this crown is absolutely tiny. But you're only going to be using it to set the time. So perfect. So we'll pop this out. It's not too bad. It's easy to get a grip on it. And even though it's small, it's actually pretty easy to use, so that's cool. And you'll notice that this movement hacks. Let's see how this date window does. Oh, there it goes. So it starts a little bit before midnight, but pops over right at midnight. As you can see, it's a pretty tiny little window. Very difficult to read. I'm not sure why they didn't just do away with it altogether, but being round and tiny like that, it's actually kind of an interesting element. So we'll pop this back in, and there goes that seconds hand. Looking at the case back, it's pretty cool how this case back is oriented straight up and down once you align the crown indent here. And this is a pretty cool case back. I mean, this was an affordable watch. I think it was around $100. And this etching on here is really cool. And look at that. It has a sapphire crystal. Craziness. It has dress watch, water resistance. That's fine. I love the case shape on this watch too. How it's kind of like a saucer shape. And look at that brushing. This is a really great quality watch for the price. No wonder why I was so impressed by it. And looking at it from the side, it's pretty thin. We have a flat crystal on there. It does look a little large because it's kind of bauhausy and flat. And it's at 40 millimeters. It is not my personal watch, so that's perfectly fine. The hands are just stick hands. We have Bering up here below the 12 and nothing but a minutes track for indices. I absolutely love that seconds hand. I don't know why you don't see this in more watches. It just looks so cool. It's such an interesting visual element to have a seconds hand that goes all the way across the dial like that. And one thing that makes me happy personally is this watch actually makes a ticking sound. It's nowhere near as loud as swatches, but it is there. The one thing I really like about quartz, I'm weird, I like the ticking. So this has a sapphire crystal. Let's test it. I finally broke down and got a diamond tester, so we'll let it warm up. All right, it is ready to go. Let's see what we have here. There we go. Nice. It is sapphire. As for the specifications on this watch, the case size is 40 millimeters. The case height is only 7 millimeters. The lug to lug is 42 millimeters. The lug width is 20 millimeters. The case material is stainless steel. The crystal is sapphire. The water resistance is 30 meters. I'm not sure on the exact reference of this watch or the movement that's in it. Apparently this is no longer available. I don't see it on their website. If I do end up tracking that information down, I'll put it in the description below. Alright, so tonight we have another quartz watch. My little Citizen vintage piece that I found on eBay. Let me take this off and we'll see what it's like to wear the Bering. Here is my son's Bering watch on my 7-inch wrist. I don't think I've ever put this watch on before. It looks pretty cool. It actually doesn't wear quite as large as I thought it would, which is pretty cool. My Xeno Bauhaus winder was this size and it looked ginormous. But this actually looks like a properly proportioned size for this watch. I'm not really a fan of this strap with the weird square end on it, and it's pretty long, but the texture on it's kind of cool. And it looks pretty good on this watch. The thinness is great. I just love how it's dressy but brushed. That is so cool. And again, that seconds hand, that gets me every time. That is so awesome. Very cool that he wears it every now and then. Bering. Sweet. So there you have it, the gorgeous, affordable, and amazing Bering watch that I bought for my oldest son's graduation. Thanks for watching.